The slap of rain against the windshield blurred the neon sign of the Regency Hotel into a smeared halo of red and blue, but nothing could obscure the sight that punched me straight in the gut. There she was, my Emily, stepping out of a sleek black sedan, her laughter cutting through the downpour like a knife. She clutched the arm of a man I'd never seen, tall and sharp-featured, his hand possessive on the small of her back as they ducked under the awning. Her dress, the one I'd bought her for our anniversary last year, clung to her curves in the wet night air. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white, my breath fogging the glass. How long had this been going on? The betrayal hit like a freight train, splintering my world into shards of rage and disbelief. I wanted to storm out, shatter the glass doors, drag her away, but I sat frozen, heart hammering as they vanished inside, oblivious to the storm I'd become. That night, back in our empty apartment, the silence screamed. I paced the living room, the carpet muffling my steps but not the roar in my head. Emily had texted me earlier. "Working late again, love. Don't wait up. Love." The word mocked me now, a hollow echo. I'd suspected something for weeks. The late nights at the office, the secretive smiles at her phone, the way her perfume lingered differently, mixed with a cologne that wasn't mine. But suspicion was a whisper. This was a thunderclap. I poured a scotch, the burn down my throat mirroring the fire in my chest. Humiliation washed over me. How many times had I bragged about our perfect marriage to friends? 10 years, no kids yet, but we'd talked about it. Now it all felt like a farce. I collapsed onto the couch, staring at the wedding photo on the mantel. Her eyes sparkling, mine full of promise. What had I missed? Was it my fault? The long hours at the architectural firm, the weekends buried in blueprints. No, screw that. This was her choice, her knife in my back. Sleep evaded me, replaced by a torrent of thoughts that twisted like smoke. Denial crept in first, a coward's refuge. Maybe it was a business meeting. Maybe the man was a client. But the way she'd leaned into him, the intimate tilt of her head. No, that was lover's territory. I replayed the scene obsessively. The rain-slicked pavement reflecting their shadows, the doorman's knowing nod, the way her hand brushed his chest. Anger surged, hot and primal. I imagined bursting into their room, fists flying, but fantasies fractured into doubt. What if she laughed? What if she chose him? The scotch bottle emptied as resentment brewed, dark and bitter. By dawn, obsession took root. I needed proof, not just a glimpse. I needed to know everything. The next morning I called in sick, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. Emily had slipped in at 2 a.m., murmuring something about a deadline before collapsing into bed. Now she bustled in the kitchen, humming as she made coffee. "Morning, Alex," she said, planting a kiss on my cheek. Her lips felt like ice. "You look rough. Bad night." "Yeah," I muttered, forcing a smile that felt like cracking glass. "Couldn't sleep. Work stuff." The light tasted like ash. Up close, her eyes held no guilt, just the same warm brown I'd fallen for in college. Was she that good at deception, or had I been that blind? We ate breakfast in companionable silence, but every clink of her fork grated on my nerves. I studied her, the subtle glow to her skin, the way she avoided my gaze when her phone buzzed. It was him, I knew it. As she left for work, waving from the door, I felt a cold resolve settle in. This wasn't ending with tears or therapy. She'd shattered us. I'd make her feel the shards. I started small, strategic. Her phone was password protected, but I'd seen her enter it enough times. Our wedding date, sentimental fool that she was. While she showered that evening, I slipped into the bathroom steam and grabbed it from the counter. My heart pounded as I scrolled through messages. There he was. "Mark." Text stretching back months. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Last time was incredible." Emojis that made my stomach churn. Hearts, flames, eggplants. Photos too. Her in lingerie I'd never seen, his smug replies. I forwarded a few to my email, hands shaking, then deleted the evidence. Back in the living room, I sat staring at the wall, guilt flickering amid the rage. Was this invasion justified? Oh yes, But doubt nagged. What if I confronted her now? Could we salvage this? No, the fantasies returned. Her begging forgiveness, me walking away. But that wasn't enough. She needed to hurt like I did. Over the next days, I dove deeper, the obsession consuming me like a fever. I tailed her after work, parking a block away from her marketing firm. Twice, she met Mark at a coffee shop downtown, their heads bent close, fingers intertwined under the table. I snapped photos from afar, the cameras click a small victory. Who was he? A quick online search revealed Mark Harlan, a divorced ad executive, charming smile in his LinkedIn photo. Bastard. I imagined his life. Fancy loft, no commitments, preying on married women. Resentment boiled into hatred. Home, Emily noticed my distance. What's wrong, babe? She'd ask, her hand on my arm sending mixed signals of warmth and revulsion. Nothing, I'd reply, voice flat. Just tired. Our conversations grew strained, laced with unspoken accusations. One night over dinner she pushed. Alex, talk to me. You've been off for weeks. I met her eyes, suppressing the urge to explode. Have I? Maybe I'm just seeing things clearly. The words hung heavy, a subtle hint. She frowned but let it drop. Inside my mind raced with plans. Divorce. Too clean. Exposure. Tempting, but public humiliation might backfire. No, I needed something personal, a strike at her core. Mark's profile mentioned a big client pitch coming up. Perhaps sabotage there? But that felt petty. Deeper research uncovered his ex-wife's social media, bitter posts about his infidelity. Irony twisted my lips into a grim smile. Maybe ally with her. Doubt crept in. Was I becoming the monster? Moral conflict gnawed, but heartbreak drowned it out. Weeks blurred into a haze of surveillance and scheming. I installed a tracker on her car. Easy enough from an online tutorial, guilt stabbing as I knelt in the garage. It led me to more hotels, more lies. Each discovery fueled the fire, but I held back, building my case like an architect drafts a blueprint. Inner turmoil peaked one rainy afternoon when I followed them to a park. Hidden behind trees, I watched them kiss, her laughter echoing. Humiliation crushed me. How could she? Tears mixed with rain on my face. Back home, I smashed a vase, the crash mirroring my shattered trust. Emily found the pieces later. What happened? She asked, concern feigned or real. Slipped, I lied, but my eyes burned with suppressed rage. That night in bed, she reached for me, and I recoiled. Not tonight. Her hurt expression almost broke me. Guilt surged. Was revenge worth destroying myself? But the fantasies evolved. Not violence, but a trap that exposed her hypocrisy. I researched private investigators, but decided against it. Too impersonal. This was mine to orchestrate. The turning point came during a dinner party with friends. Emily sparkled, charming everyone, while I nursed a drink in the corner. Mark wasn't there, but his shadow loomed. Friend Tom pulled me aside. You okay, man? You look like hell. Fine, I snapped, but his knowing look unnerved me. Did others suspect? Paranoia joined the emotional cocktail. Later, Emily and I argued in the car. You're distant, Alex. Is there someone else? The audacity ignited me. Me. You're the one sneaking around. The words slipped out, a crack in my facade. He paled. What are you talking about? I gripped the wheel, heart racing. Nothing. Forget it. But the seed was planted. Suspense thickened as she grew wary, checking her phone less openly. My planning intensified. I hacked her email, password same as phone, predictable, finding reservations for a weekend getaway. Perfect. I followed document then. What? The cold resolve hardened. Make her lose everything, starting with her job. Mark's firm was a rival. Anonymous tips about conflicts of interest could ruin them both. But doubt lingered. In quiet moments, I remembered our good times. Lazy Sundays, her head on my shoulder. Heartbreak clawed, why him? Was I not enough? Obsession twisted into self-loathing. One night, alone, I drafted an email exposing her to family, but deleted it. Too crude. Revenge needed elegance, a slow poison. As the weekend approached, tension coiled like a spring. Emily packed, claiming a girls' trip. I nodded, feigning belief. Have fun. Her kiss goodbye tasted like farewell. I followed at a distance, the highway stretching into uncertainty. The hotel loomed, a secluded resort in the hills. I checked in under a false name, room adjacent to theirs. Through the wall, muffled laughter seeped, each sound a dagger. I sat in the dark, plotting the reveal. But as night fell, a new thought emerged. What if I confronted them mid-act? No better, record it, send to her boss, his ex, everyone. Moral grayness enveloped me. Was this justice or madness? The first night I crept to their door, ear pressed against wood. Whispers, moans, fury blinded me. Back in my room I paced, fists clenched. Guilt flickered, invading privacy, stooping low. But resentment won. Tomorrow the trap springs. Dawn broke over the resort like a false promise, sunlight filtering through pines and casting long shadows across the manicured lawns. I hadn't slept, my mind a whirlwind of scenarios, each more vicious than the last. Emily and Mark were still in their room, oblivious, while I sipped bitter coffee on my balcony, the steam rising like my simmering rage. The air carried the scent of dew and distant wood smoke, but all I smelled was betrayal. Today was the day. I'd rigged a small camera in the hallway vent earlier, a risky move fueled by online tutorials and desperation. It captured their comings and goings, irrefutable proof. But proof for what? My plan had evolved in the sleepless hours. Not just exposure, but a staged confrontation that would force her to choose, then crumble when she realized the cost. I dressed casually, blending with the weekend crowd. Jeans, hoodie, baseball cap pulled low. Down in the lobby, the clink of breakfast dishes and murmur of guests provided cover. There they were, at a corner table. Emily in a sundress, hair tousled, Mark feeding her a strawberry with a grin that made my blood boil. I lingered behind a pillar, eavesdropping. "This weekend is perfect," she whispered. "No interruptions, just us." "Just us," he echoed, his hand on her thigh under the table. Jealousy spiked, but I forced calm. Inner conflict raged. Part of me wanted to forgive, to storm over and beg her back. But humiliation recalled the hotel rain, the lies. I followed them to the pool, lounging in a cabana far enough to watch unseen. They splashed like lovers on honeymoon, her giggles piercing. Obsession gripped. I noted every touch, every glance. By afternoon they hiked a trail. I trailed at a distance, branches snapping underfoot, heart pounding with fear of discovery. Doubt nagged. What if this backfired? What if she left me anyway? But cold resolve pushed on. Back at the hotel I hacked the Wi-Fi, architectural skills extended to tech apparently, and accessed the camera feed on my laptop. Clips of them entering the room, arms entwined. Enough to destroy careers. But I needed more, a personal strike. Researching Mark deeper, I found his weakness. A pending promotion hinging on a clean reputation. His ex had custody battles. Dirt on him could tip scales. Morally gray. Absolutely. But so was cheating. Evening fell, the resort alive with twinkling lights and jazz from the bar. I positioned myself there, nursing a drink when they entered. Emily spotted me first. Her face drained of color. "Alex, what are you doing here?" I stood feigning surprise. "Emily." "Hey." I needed a break. Work stress. My voice trembled authentically, layered with suppressed rage. Mark shifted uncomfortably. "Who's this?" "My husband," she hissed, eyes darting. The word hung like a guillotine. Awkward introductions followed, tension thick as fog. "Join us," Mark offered, clueless or cocky. "Sure," I said, sitting with a smile that didn't reach my eyes. Dialogue flowed unnaturally. Small talk about the weather, the resort. But undercurrents surged. Emily fidgeted, her foot tapping mine under the table, a plea. Warning. As drinks loosened tongues, I probed. So, Mark, what do you do? He boasted about his ad firm, oblivious. Emily shot me glances, guilt flickering. And you two know each other from work, she interjected quickly. Old colleagues. Really? I leaned in, voice low. Funny, I don't recall you mentioning him. Suspense built, her discomfort palpable. Mark excused himself for the restroom. Alone, Emily whispered fiercely. What the hell, Alex? Are you following me? I met her eyes, heartbreak raw. Should I be? Tears welled in hers. Guilt, finally. It's not what you think, she lied, voice breaking. Then what is it? Rage simmered, but I held back, letting tension coil. Mark returned, sensing the shift. Everything okay? Fine, I said, standing. Enjoy your evening. I left, but not before slipping a note into Emily's hand. Room 212. Midnight. Or everyone knows. Back in my room, pacing resumed. Fear mixed with anticipation. What if she didn't come? What if she did? Moral conflict peaked. Was I manipulating her just like she manipulated me? But resentment justified it. This was poetic, her secrets unraveling as mine had. Midnight came. Soft knock. Emily entered, disheveled, eyes red. Alex, please. Let me explain. I closed the door, voice cold. Explain what? The texts. The hotels. Him. She crumpled onto the bed, sobbing. It started as nothing, a flirtation. You're always working distant. Mark made me feel alive. Alive. Humiliation flared. 10 years, and you throw it away for that? I'm sorry, she whispered, reaching for me. I pulled away, but doubt softened. Her tears seemed genuine. Then end it. Now. She nodded, but hesitation lingered. I will. But don't tell anyone. Please. I paused, feigning mercy. Okay. But prove it. Inner thoughts churned. This was the trap. I'd already sent anonymous emails. To her boss about the affair conflicting with clients. To Mark's ex with evidence for custody. To our families with blurred photos. Not all at once, but timed. We talked through the night, raw emotions spilling. Her guilt, my anger, shared heartbreak. For a moment, reconciliation flickered. Kisses tentative, bodies remembering. But as dawn neared, her phone buzzed. Mark. Where are you? She texted back. It's over. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. The next morning, chaos erupted. Mark pounded on her door, our doors, furious. What the hell, Emily? My ex just called. Someone sent her proof. Emily turned to me, horror dawning. You. I shook my head, innocent. No. But inside, cold satisfaction bloomed. Back home, the fallout cascaded. Her boss fired her for ethics breach. Mark lost his promotion, custody hearing tanked. Families reeled, friends divided. Emily begged forgiveness, but I filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. You did this, she accused, eyes blazing. Did I? I replied, voice even. The twist hit when a private investigator I'd quietly hired revealed more. Mark wasn't just a lover. He'd been blackmailing her with old work secrets. She'd cheated to protect us. Layers deepened. Her motives protective, mine vengeful. Moral grayness consumed. Was my revenge justified, or had I destroyed an imperfect but salvageable life? In the end, alone in the empty apartment, I stared at our wedding photo, shattered on the floor. Poetic justice tasted like ashes. Her betrayal avenged, but at what cost? The cold resolve faded, leaving only echoes of what was, and the unexpected consequence. I'd become the betrayer too.